Hi everybody, Velvet here, and I have 3 stories for you today. Let's get started. Our first story comes from OK Repeat 3939. Am I the beehole for telling my parents that if they give my brother money, I'll stop giving them money? A 32-year-old female, brother, a 35-year-old male, is trash. He has multiple baby mamas and is a deadbeat. He's also the apple of my mom's eye. He can do no wrong and is just misunderstood. My parents are retired and on a fixed budget. I do well for myself and help them out. I give them maybe $500 a month to help with groceries and bills. Every once in a while, I'll give them extra for unexpected expenses. No questions asked. My mom asked me for $2K, I sent it to her. Strangely enough, I ran into my brother at my family wedding. I had been told he could not afford to attend because it was a destination wedding. Weird. Funny story. He actually missed the wedding because he hooked up with some rando on an excursion and went to their resort. It was our cousin's wedding, and my aunt was pissed. She had to make special arrangements to get him included on the trip since he only got the money last minute. She said my mom shouldn't have given him the money if he wasn't going to show up. Then she shut up after she saw the look on my face. I enjoyed the wedding and had a great time. When I got home, I went to see my parents. I asked my mom why she had asked for the $2,000. She lied and said it was something for the house. I asked, what? She couldn't say. I told her what my aunt said. I told her and my father from now on, I want receipts for any money I gave them. I said I have no problem helping them, but I'll be damned if I work my butt off for her to give my money to my piece of garbage brother. She started crying and my dad said that they weren't children and they didn't have to answer to me. I agreed. And I walked out. I didn't talk to them for 2 months. My aunt called me yesterday and told me that my parents were thinking of going to the food bank since they don't have any money. I said I'd give them $2K a couple months ago, and that was more than my family of 3 spent on food at that time. She said I knew damn well they had given my money to my brother. I told her that he should probably pay them back then. She said I was being a bee. Am I the beehole? No, OP, you are not the beehole here. Your parents are. They made your brother a monster. And now you're supposed to be the one supporting him? They're using you. And yes, it's very true that they do not answer to you. You're not their parent. But if you're paying your bills, they better tell you where that money's going. And your aunt berating you like that? I'm sorry, if she cares so much, why isn't she helping them and paying their bills? I think you're handling it right. Personally, I wouldn't give them any more money if they're going to keep wasting it on this deadbeat. Our next story comes from Unhappy Tutor 4131. Am I the beehole for buying a cake a child behind me wanted? Throwaway account. My pregnant wife, our first, messaged me at the end of my work shift that she had a sudden craving for cake, and I was more than happy to get her one. Unfortunately, as this was close to 6 p.m., the bakery only had a Swiss roll left in terms of cake. As I was selecting a few other breads, a mother and her daughter came in, and the girl noticed the Swiss roll on the display cabinet and shouted that she wanted it. However, I had already ordered it, and when the worker took it out for me, the girl started screaming and crying. The mother did initially ask if I could leave the roll for her, but I said I ordered it first. She then began getting extremely demanding, saying I didn't need to eat it. Can't you feel for a kid? How selfish, etc, etc, etc. It only stopped when the worker said that I had came in first and ordered it, before the mother and daughter even walked in. I got home and told my wife the incident. She said that I was a bit of a beehole for not giving up the cake for a kid, and that she would have understood if the store had no more since I did buy other sweetbreads. Or I could have gone to the supermarket instead. She also asked why I didn't tell the mother I was buying it for a pregnant wife with cravings. I didn't see the need to share private info, but the wife said maybe the mother would have understood, and that I appeared to be insensitive by sticking to ordering first as my argument. We did end up enjoying the Swiss roll, and she told me not to worry, and just be more mindful next time. But I can't help but to feel guilty. Was I the beehole for denying a kid a cake she wanted? No, you were not the beehole. You were getting your wife a cake because she was craving it. And I agree with you, that lady did not need to know any personal info about you, and yes, you ordered it, so it's yours. If it had been the other way, and the mother had ordered the cake and you tried to pull that, she probably would have laughed in your face. And also, giving up your cake to a child throwing a tantrum would teach that child that if she acts like a rude, ghoul, that she can get whatever she wants as long as she keeps doing this. So reinforcing her bad attitude is not the way to go to be a parent. And also, just because she wants something doesn't mean she gets it. That's not how the world works. She needs to learn that lesson, or that little girl's gonna grow up to be a narcissist. And we don't need any more of those in the world. And our third and final story comes from Reasonable Article 903. Am I the beehole for telling my daughter-in-law what grandkids? Because she isn't giving me any. I'm a young mother-in-law. My son got married around 4 years ago. They have been trying a long time for a kid. She's infertile. We get along like water and oil, to make it simple. The best way I have found to deal with her is to keep topics really neutral. We're basically the opposite in everything. The opposites attract isn't true in this case. Here's my biggest issue with her. If she sees me doing something she doesn't like or disapprove of, she'll drop the line of, "You better change or you won't see the grandkids." When it came out she was infertile, it got so much worse. Some examples. I was eating junk late at night, and then the line came up. I mentioned liking private school more than public, and again, the line pops up. I was going to vote for the Green Party. Then that line came up. It's every time. I've already talked to my son about it and her directly. Now, we were out at dinner and I was paying. The service wasn't the best, so I did a 15% tip instead of 20% or higher. She saw it and she made the comment, "You should be more generous or you won't see my kids." I snapped. And I told her, "What grandkids, since you aren't giving me any?" She started crying. My son is pissed, and I'm wondering if I should apologize. Also, I know I'll get comments about adoption or IVF. They're against both of those since IVF isn't natural and adoption is buying a kid. All their words. No, you are not the beehole. And what's up with your son? Why is he letting her disrespect you like this? Personally, to me, she sounds like a terrible person. She's trying to manipulate you, and it sounds like she has your son wrapped around her finger. It's so weird that she keeps using that as a weapon when she knows you know that she's infertile. I don't even think what you said was mean. You were just telling her the truth. She couldn't kept pushing you like that and not expecting you to push back. She sounds like a horrible, manipulative person. I would hope your son can get away from that, but sounds like he's gone if he's not protecting his mother from something as obvious as this. Alright everybody, and that's another one. Can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out. Velvet out.